Welcome back to Life Lab. Today we are talking about both a product, but more so a philosophy. And that is the game theory idea of minimax, meaning minimize the maximum thing that can go wrong. So I make films. I also teach filmmaking. And I was in class a couple of weeks ago, and we were using a camera inside a camera cage and using it to pull focus. The camera cage started getting loose, and it was a hex bolt that attached the camera to the camera cage. Something like this. No one present, including myself, had something that could tighten this. And so we couldn't do the exercise that I designed. Even though I have made films for 30 years and had brought maybe two dozen different things: cameras, handles, cards, lights, cables, bags, everything. I did not have a simple tool and couldn't improvise one to do the thing that we needed to do. So I got online the very next day and found this little device. This is the Camvate film tool. It has different types of screwdrivers and a 2mm, 5mm, 4mm, and 3mm hex tool, all folded up in a nice little package. I bought 5 of these, and I put one in all of the bags that I own that carry film gear. So I put them in my Temba doctor bag, I put them in my Temba backpack, I took them in my briefcase, I put them in my lighting bag. So it would be very unlikely that I would go and shoot without one of those bags. I can't remember that I've ever done that. That means that I have one of these with me, even if I don't bring anything else. So last week, a similar thing happened where there was a piece of gear that started falling apart, started getting loose. And I remembered, I solved that problem by preparing for it in the future. Went over to the bag, took it out, took out my screwdriver, hex kit, and solved the problem. So rather than carrying this everywhere I go, which I don't often need one of these things, I found a cheap solution. I optimized it for the scenario that I was going to be in. So I was going to always have one of these when I was shooting, which meant that I would have a camera with me. So far that has worked. Like, I have other ones of these that are much bulkier, right? Here's another hex key kit. This is one's from Gorilla Grip by Bontos. It's much, much larger. So carrying this everywhere, or even putting this in a bag, starts to take up spots of other things. But this little guy solves almost every scenario that I would get to in that same way and takes up no space at all. In fact, it fits in your change pocket of your jeans or cargo pants. So it's something that you can always have with you. I like this idea of finding the right tool for the job and then designing my EDC or specialty carry around having one of them with me all the time. I also do this with my toiletry bag when I travel. I don't, when I'm about to go away, I don't, go get my toothbrush, get the floss, get my earplugs, all these other things. I just have a toiletry bag with a version of all that stuff in it in my bag that I travel with. And so when I pack, I am ready to go. An extension of that would be have a whole nother set of clothes that when you come back from traveling, you wash, repack into the bag so that when you're ready to go, you just pick up the bag and go. I think this is a good philosophy, basically, because when you're about to travel or when you're about to shoot, you have so many other things on your mind that it doesn't occur to you to do every little thing. Yes, I have a checklist, which is great. I have checklists for, trips within the US, trips within the state, trips out of the country, trips to cold weather, trips to hot weather. I really like the checklist philosophy. There's a really great book by Atul Gawande about checklists, and I try and incorporate them because when you don't think you need to use a checklist is when you need to use a checklist the most. But this kind of thing, you don't even need for a checklist. It just becomes part of the way you prepare for everything else. It's something you get for free. And for $50, if it only saves you once, it's worth the $50, I think, especially on something like a film. I'll leave a link to the tool itself in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.